Welcome, everybody, to a quick edition of Night of the Shield, another live reaction to the 53-man roster. I'm just going to need a few minutes to get something set up here just in case people join and leave any comments. I really want to run through this fast. It's been a long day. Work, trying to track. Raiders took forever to drop the news. I got to listen to a few people and their reactions. Some outlandish, some on point. I get it. I mean, it's, trying to project these things are not easy. Like I've always said, there's a lot of layers. I myself made many mistakes. So we're going to talk about it here in just a second. I'm going to try to get my tablet to talk to me, and then we'll be right back. Robert Pena, what's up? I was already asking about the linebackers. We're going to get into all that. I think I got this working in my ear so I could get to the chat. For those who don't know, are new here, maybe haven't been here in a while, I am legally blind, visually impaired. So I'm using VoiceOver in my AirPod. I got it up here on my tablet. And we're going to try to work this to where I get all the messages. So let's go ahead and do this. The biggest shocks, I'll just go through. Let's just talk about some of the biggest shocks. Offensively, the receiving core caught me off guard, man. Dorsett being cut, I was like, wait, what? I thought it was going to be Cam Sims, but it wasn't. They went with the guy that I said would probably be gone, and that's Kristen Wilkinson. And after some thought, I guess it makes sense. He's probably going to be on the back end of the depth chart. So to me, it kind of makes sense, right? Because you're going to be looking at him, he had a good connection with O'Connell. So, I mean, if O'Connell gets implemented as someone that he feels comfortable with, or maybe they felt he performed so well that he's trade bait and maybe they're working some kind of deal. I'm just throwing some options out there. It just really shocked me. Everything else on the receiving core lined up pretty much like I thought. Offensive line, I think our starters are there, just like we talked about the last time. I believe Jermaine Illuminor will be the starter. Van Rotten's going to be the guard. They carried Munford, which makes sense. And then after that, it's just a hodgepodge of guys that are going to battle. Wagner, which I thought would be here, went on an IR, which I think is a great way just to secure that he'll be here next year. It gives a whole year for us to develop him. So, again, I think that was a smart move. I was really big on Fotheringham. He got cut, and that was the other shocker. We kept 4 tight ends. Again, that might be temporary. I don't know if we really go into the season with 4 tight ends. Remember, they had to get to the 53. Some of these guys they're trying to protect, and maybe some other of these guys they have some other plans for, but they're waiting for the smoke to clear. They're being a little strategic. Running backs lined up just like we thought. A lot of interesting moves at defensive tackle. I was pretty shocked with the defensive tackle moves. Be honest with you, I didn't see Butler's gone, right? Like, that was interesting. I want to talk about the Neil Farrell trade because a lot of people were kind of getting pumped up about, I can't believe we traded him to the Chiefs. The way this works, I don't know how much interest was in Farrell. And if we would have just waived him being a second-year guy, he would have had to hit the waiver wire, and the Chiefs are back at the end. And you're going to waive a guy anyway who most likely is going to be picked up. So there was no way that this guy was going to land on your practice squad. So I don't care if it's the Chiefs, the Broncos, or the Chargers. You got a 6th-round pick instead of just losing a guy straight up. So you have to think about it from that perspective, right? If you're cutting the guy, you don't think he's going to make the cut right now, he's not a threat. And would you rather face Farrell or Jones? Would you rather Chris Jones come back, or would you rather take a 6th-round pick from a team that's going to get a guy that you didn't want anyway? So think about it from a different perspective and know that that was a pretty good move. The comments are popping in pretty quick. Let me go ahead and see if I can get into some of these real quick. Dark, what's up, brother? Salute. Salute, Peña. Robert and Dark going back and forth. Dude, they're good to see you all in here, man. All yous that come over. I was live Sunday. I know Peña showed up and a few others, man. It was awesome. It was just a good feeling. It just made sense because I had so much going on today to just jump on here and just clear my thoughts and kind of talk about how off I was. I wasn't too far off for the most part. There was definitely some surprises. I already knew I didn't nail the 53-man roster. Come on. I've seen some reactions today of people just flipping out, man. Like, these guys don't know what they're doing. And there's politics in everything, dude. There's politics in sports. There's politics in my job. There's politics at your job. And there's decisions that are made that we're not going to understand or not like. Fact. There's some of these things that I'm scratching my head about, especially when it comes to the cornerbacks, which we'll get into in a minute. But at the end of the day, I promise you, when it comes to what needs to be done and has to be done, there's 32 plus GMs, because I know we have 2. I don't know how many other teams run 2 GMs. I know Dave's the main, but I know he's got Champ Bailey as his sidekick. And we got Josh McDaniels and whoever's making these decisions and conversations. Trust me, these guys have been in the league a long time. They had to start from the bottom. I mean, Dave was a high school counselor. He was a student counselor for a while. I guess if you guys watch Bussin' with the Boys, McDaniels was talking about Dave Ziegler doing some acting work at one point. The guy's just been through the ringer, dude. He worked his way up as a scout. Then he worked his way up through the Patriots organization and has some higher scouting department reps, and he was under somebody learning the GM stuff, and now he gets his opportunity. These guys know way more than we even think about during the day when we try to break this down, right? I'm here just to review what they do, and that doesn't mean we have to like what they do, because I don't always like what they do, but, man, when we try to act like these guys are stupid, I don't know, man. We'll have to wait and see, because right before cut day, we were all talking and hyping this team up like we're on our way again. So, I mean, there's some things that I'm like, well, I don't get it, and we'll get into it in a second. We'll go through some of these chats. We rocking. We good, man. We're doing good. Right back at you. Salute to everybody in the chat. You guys are rocking, bro. Yeah, dude. Still a linebacker. Let me see what we got. Okay, it took me all the way back to the top. Let me see if I can get back down. We're going to get to the linebackers in a minute. I want to cover the cornerbacks really quick. Then I'll figure out how to get back into that chat. But the cornerbacks, man, both Sam Webb and Tyler Hall, I thought they were locks, bro. Like that. I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, I really thought we didn't see a lot of Sam Webb. I thought they were protecting him. Faison still on, which is, we'll have to wait and see what happens with him, but obviously he's going to be ready to go. So I guarantee you got Nate Hobbs, you got the rookie, who I'm sorry, he's slipping in my Jacorian Bennett, thank you. Brandon Faison, Hobbs, and Marcus Peters. I mean, those are going to be your 4 main rotational pieces. Amik made the roster like I thought he would. I know a lot of people are upset about that. Look, man, he's not a starter. He's not a starter, and he flashed. All right. Now, I that's why I think we went with him over Shelley. I talked about it in my projection personally, just from what I saw. And like I say, like I'm not there, man. I'm not there. I don't talk to these coaches or these players, but just from what I saw, him and Shelley were equal. But you know what you're getting out of Amik. He understands his second year in this defense. Now, the whole keeping David Long thing, it's probably one of the reasons I'm bald. There's nothing to catch that one. That went right over my head, dude. I was like, wait, what? I didn't see anything from that cat, bro. Anything that says that we should have kept him. There must be a reason we did. Again, we're not there in all the meetings. We're not there in all the practices. We're not in the game planning and why they brought him here to begin with. What is the fit for David Long? What did they see that's going to work moving forward? Is it size? Is it the way he plays on the outside versus the inside? We don't know. All I know is he made this roster, and it is what it is, dude. We're going to roll with it, right? Like, I mean, I'm not going to sit here. I don't like the move, but I'm not going to call these guys stupid because, I mean, this guy might come out and do his thing. And we don't know where he's at on the depth chart just yet. So I know he's not going to be top 4. I promise you that. So I'll just let it play out, man. I'll let it play out. It is what it is. Hey, David Long's a Raider. I'm rocking with him until I don't. That's just the way I'm going to be. So let's go ahead because I know Robert's been waiting for these linebackers, man. I thought Drake Thomas had a shot. I really thought Drake had a shot. I get why they cut him. And I believe because of his size, there's a very solid chance that he ends up on our practice squad. So I'm not like flipping out over it. I think he has a lot of upside, and I can't wait to see what he brings back next year if it all works out in our favor. But I think the Luke Masterson, Diablo, and Spillane are going to be your core. That's going to be your core. And Curtis Bolton, man, he had a good preseason. He's good on special teams. He's going to be your 4th guy, in my opinion. And then you got Bernie, who could do some things too. Now Bernie's going to be that. He may be able to be kind of that hybrid that comes in and plays a little bit on that outside when you don't have the dime or nickel package, which is very rare. But it's a guy that he has the skill set to react if it's a pass versus a run. So, I mean, there's some pieces there that we have to give a nod to and say, hey, you know what? But I'm with you, Robert. Because we haven't seen it, we don't exactly know what we got. In my personal opinion, you have 2 linebackers. One, we've seen him last year really come to light, but then he got hurt. We have high expectations for him, but we don't know where he's at. Then we have Robert Spillane, a guy that, from what I've seen, dude, I love what he's bringing to the room, and I know he's going to make some plays, and he's a tough dude, and I know he struggles in pass, but we don't really know. I'm not going to sit here and be like, you know, I mean, I know I've heard some great things, and I really think he's going to be a solid piece, dude. I really do. But that is the core of this linebacker room. Luke Masterson is an undrafted free agent coming into his 2nd year. We've seen a lot of good things from him, but we've seen a lot of things that he's still picking up and learning. That is your 3rd back, right? Curtis Bolton's got some experience, but he's a special teamer. And I love how he's come along. And let's remember, just because he's been a career special teams guy, a guy that's going to fit in spot here, spot there, he has picked up on Patrick Graham's defense. It is his 2nd year. And sometimes you find a diamond in the rough. Sometimes you can get a guy that's been a journeyman here and there for a few years, and all of a sudden he finds a spot where he just fits. And not only does he fit the narrative, what Patrick Graham is selling, he kind of fits around the people around him, right? And they could bring – I was talking about Spillane. I was talking about Epps and Crosby and Marcus Peters, how they have the ability to raise the level of players around them. That's what makes a good football team. And if Spillane is what's helping Bolton come along, and Diablo and Masterson, and he is the core piece that makes this linebacker room work, I'm here for it. But, Robert, you know, there's some people out there that we should kind of go and at least kick the tires on. And maybe this is why we hold some of these guys back, because we need to. If you cut them right away, people are going to swoop in. Let people go and make moves, because once they get on the practice squad, they have to sign them to their roster. Because I was watching a show earlier where someone said If they get picked up, they have to put them. If they're cut, they go and grab them before we put them on the practice squad. They go to the roster. They have to go to the other person's 53. No, they don't. Once they're waived and cut, other teams could sign them to their practice squad. They become free agents. Everybody, once they clear waivers anyway, right? Then they can choose what practice squad they want to be on. There was a receiver a few years back that ended up going to, I think he went to Jacksonville because they paid him more money, and then I think they ended up cutting him. He ended up back with us anyway. It's some weird thing like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. If anybody remembers who I'm talking about, you drop it in the chat real quick. But yeah, so it go anywhere. The only time they have to legitimately automatically put them on the 53 is if we sign them to the practice squad. They're not protected, and they pull them from our practice squad. They have to add them to the 53. That's the way that it works. But anyway, let's go ahead and see what the chat. Let's see if I can get back in here first. Give me a second. All right. Here we go. I made it in. Let's go. Here we go. Nick 209, what's up, brother? 209, you're around that Modesto area, Sacramento, Stockton area, somewhere around there. So let me say, he hopes our defense is at least 16, right? That's the plan. To play it safe, to be honest with you, coming from where we were last year to this year, it's possible we can make that big jump, but I'd like to be under 20. Anything under 20 or under, I think will serve us our purpose. A lot of our money is tied up offensively, and I just believe this is going to be an offensive team until the defense catches up. We got a lot of young players on the defense, so I mean our main core players got to step up, and I'll talk about the defensive line here in a second too, and how important I feel that is. Yeah, Amik's on the roster. Surprise. I think that's what you were saying, Nick. I'm ready for those donkeys, too. I'm ready for the regular season, man. Like, I'm ready to kick this thing off. I'm going to be breaking down here. I'm not exactly sure when. I don't have a schedule written anything on when I'm going to make these videos, but I definitely want to break down the first quarter of the season. I usually break the season down in quarters. I don't try to get all crazy and predict the whole season. What's the point? I don't even know exactly where we are yet. But the first 4 games are key. And this 53-man roster helps a little bit, and what's happening with the donkeys help a little bit. So we'll be definitely talking about that first quarter, what I'm expecting, and those first 2 games will tell a big tall tale of where the Raiders are at. But let's bring on them donkeys, man. I'm ready to make some jackasses out of some people. What's up, Combo? Welcome back, brother. I'm glad you're here tonight. Yeah, being in Denver, man, that's what, dude, I've only been to Denver one time, and it was I was in a layover on my way to, where was I going? Colorado Springs. And I had to jump off in Denver and catch like a puddle jumper to go in there. I had a cousin that lived there that had MS. He was in the Air Force. So I went to go help him kind of resettle in. He retired, but that's the only time I've ever been to Denver. But trust me, I walked in, I was raided out, bro. I was raided out in Denver. It felt good. Hit that like button. Hey, Robert, appreciate it. Everybody hit that like. It's been a minute, man. Everybody, if you're here, I know there's not a lot of you, but I appreciate all you. Hit that like button. Help me move up the algorithm. I got some changes coming to the channel, man. I got some rebranding I think I want to do to I got to wake up the YouTube algorithm. I've been dormant for so long. I got to make some changes and do some things. And I know one of the things I need to do a lot more is this right here. Go live, communicate with you all, and rebuild those relationships, man. That was one of the biggest things that I loved about doing live videos or just doing YouTube in general was all the community people that I met over the years and that are still rocking with me after all this time. Dude, I appreciate you guys. Arkham, what's up, brother? Yeah, Arkham remembers me from the Raider Central days, man. Those were some of my best memories, hanging out with those guys, doing round tables. I'll pull back the curtain. I was pulling back some information in the last live. If you guys didn't catch the live last one towards the end, I talked about a little bit of YouTube drama and things like that. But if I had to be honest, man, the only thing that drove me crazy, you guys, for all you hardcore people that used to watch the Raider Roundtable on Mikey's channel, when Mikey was figuring out those buttons and making those noises, and sometimes he would just pick a winner because he wanted them to win, or just behind this, I'll pull back the curtains. Mikey don't care I say this, but Mikey loved First Take. Mikey loved the argument. Sometimes Mikey will argue with you just for entertainment purposes. And sometimes I would have to like bite my lip. And if you guys follow Raider John, Confessions of a Raider Fan, that's my boy. Yeah, he used to get so fired up at Mikey, boy. I used to love watching when John was on. Woo, that was a hot show, boy. They would go at it. I love seeing everybody saluting each other in the chat, man. It's all about community, man. It's a brotherhood and a sisterhood. Awesome. Beer mug. Cheers. Salute. Awesome. Everybody's cheering. Custom Cali 299. What's up, brother? Thank you, man. I'm glad to be here. Real quick, as the chats keep coming in, everybody saying what's up to each other. I want to talk this defensive line real quick. The defensive line is the key to all of this. You know, a good cornerback. Marcus Peters will be able to hold his own for the most part, but we're going to have some young cats on the other side. Hobbs in the slot. We got Chandler Jones and we got Max Crosby, and I know Chandler Jones took a while to get going, and he's a little banged up right now. We got a rookie that's still kind of getting his football legs under him and trying to figure out the NFL. It's a little sketchy for me right now, and I believe that in the all this hype that we've been hearing now, I'm just kind of wondering what's the middle of this defensive line going to look like? Can we generate enough push? I love Tillery. I'm glad Tillery's here. I know people give him a lot of crap for that mistake that he made last year, but I'm going to be honest with you guys, man. Like that guy, one mistake ain't going to change it for me, man. That guy can get to the quarterback from the middle, so I like that. We need Jenkins to step up, Balon Nichols to step up, and can Nessa, can he get the push and continue to show and grow and really create some havoc in the middle, because that is the key. If we can be menaces in the middle, it's going to help our ends do what they do. And there's the ends are another thing. I don't think I talked about the ends. I'm shocked we only have 4. It's a little disturbing. You know, I'm glad we kept Kuntz. Kuntz has always been that flashy guy. I'm hoping Kuntz can step up this season and do more and just be a preseason warrior. I hope his game goes to the next level, because I think he would be a perfect combination with him and Wilson, being able to come in and help Jones and Crosby. But, man, I'm hoping that they try to put Tyree in the middle a little bit too, because you watch that footage where he picked up that guy and pushed him back. And I know that he's big enough to roll in the middle if we need to from a time to time to get him on the field. So let's see. Let's let this guy, let's Patrick Graham do his thing, because let's be honest. And I heard someone say this today. So, I mean, I'm kind of stealing it because I heard it from them, but I thought it anyway. Patrick Graham's the scapegoat here, bro. Like that's the guy that's on the hot seat. Okay. This offense will generate points. The biggest thing our offense has to do is get better in the red zone, and obviously get better in the second half. Right? There are some things that this offense has to work on, but the pieces are there, just like last year. There's a couple of different. I think we've gotten better in most areas, and we stayed the same or didn't lose any ground in others. So I think we should pick up where we left off, but take a step forward. There's a better understanding of what Josh is asking. So offensively is where we're going to be gold. That's where our strength is going to be. So we need the defense to complement that. And Patrick Graham has to really, like I said, where, I think it was Nick was saying that he wants us to be like 16. I mean, that's a tough ask. I'm going to be honest. That's a tough ask. It's not impossible. Hell, we could even be better than 16. Anything's possible. All the hype we've been hearing, and these guys are fired up. If they put it together, I mean, I'm just saying about if we could rank about 20, anywhere between 20 and even 18, that is such an improvement from last year with this offense. That should be good enough for us to win some games. Now, we have a tough schedule, and we'll break that down as we go throughout the year. But I think we're a different football team. I think we're sneaky good. We can be sneaky good, but just like last year, and I said it last year too, a lot depends on how this defense improves. It has to improve. We need defensive help. And I know that some play calling and some quarterback play and some other issues that happened, wide receivers running bad routes. There was a lot of things that happened last year. We could start pointing fingers and we can call whoever we want out. But the offense will be fine. I truly believe that. They'll be better in the red zone. We'll score more points. Our running game should be solid. I think we'll be able to be more balanced, but we still need the defense. We're not going to be the fastest show on turf like the Rams were. We're not going to be crazy Patrick Mahomes flicking balls everywhere from behind his back, under his leg, and all that stuff, making crazy plays. We're an old school, solid, line them up, beat your man, do your assignment, timing routes, that 15, 20-yard range we're going to pop it every once in a while, about 40-yard bomb, but we're going to be steady Eddies, and we're going to be positive in the red zone, and then we're going to run these people to death. That's what we're going to do. That's why we need the defense to step up. We need this defensive line to be good. Beer mug. Salute to everybody. Cool. Custom Cali. You remember those shows? Man, there's a lot of funny moments, man. I know Mikey's put out a couple. I wish he would dig out some of them out of the archive and post them. I know they're like 720p, they're like very grainy and old. But back when we were doing the Google Hangouts, that's what it was. It was 720p all day. A lot of this new stuff they have didn't even exist. Habbeats, what's up, brother? I'm doing my best to hear what my voiceover said. It said Habbeats. I hope I'm saying that right. That's what it's saying in my ear. What's up, brother? Welcome. Good stuff. Awesome, Callie. Thank you. Yeah. No, I have John's number too. A lot of those guys I keep in touch with, man. I keep, maybe not on a regular basis. I probably could do a better job, but if you guys watch this video, they can do a better job too. You guys can hit me up. My number's still the same. But I'll text Samoan randomly. I'll text Samoan. I'll text Mikey. I'd probably talk to the most. I'll hit Raider John up quite a bit. It's been a minute since I hit John up. I got to hit John up. Maybe I'll bring John on and see what John's up to. So who else? Who else used to kick it with us? Raider Nation News. I don't know what happened to him. Cameron. I know he pops around every once in a while. I know he hasn't made any videos. That kid was a smart cat, bro. He was going to school to do some x-ray stuff. He was in the medical field. I'm sure he's got a career and doing some good things right now. Dylan, I lost touch with Dylan. He still has his channel. He's been making videos. I do, me and him came from the same hometown. So I've met up with him. I mentioned that last time, but I haven't talked to him or been able to hook up with him in a minute. So, but I see he's doing good. He's got a couple kids, so he's doing his thing. But Dylan, if you run across this, man, hit me up. My number's the same. We got to hit some Odie's up. And you guys ever in Gilroy, California, you got to hit at some Odie's. Odie's breakfast spot, man, in downtown Gilroy. It's bomb. Raider John is super cool, man. He's the man, dude. Arkham, great question. Am I going to any games? Here's the truth, bro. I had the season tickets in Oakland all the way until they left. My brother and I let them go. We did not pick up season tickets, obviously, in Vegas. And the thing is Vegas, it's not the money I'm worried about spending as much as I am what is my game experience going to be. When I was going to Oakland, it was before my eyes got really bad. Back in 95, I was driving to the Coliseum. I still had my truck. I would drive in. And then when my eyes started getting bad, my brother and I, we both had seats because he has the same eye condition I got. So me and him would split the tickets, and then we would just take somebody to the game that could drive, and then we'd hit the game up or have someone drop us off at BART, and we'd BART in or whatever. then towards the end here, when I was in Fresno, I met up at Knights of the Shield, the Booster Club, and they would do the bus rides. And then I met people there, and I'd ride with them and give them the ticket. And then when they finally left, that was it for me. Now, I'm not here to talk smack on the Raiders because I love the Raiders. You know this, the Raider till I die. But I have literally emailed and tried to call Allegiant Stadium a billion times to get a response from them of what they have in place and how much, pricing and stuff. Like what can they have for me? What is my game day experience going to be like? Because binoculars don't work for me no more. But I'm cool, man. If I could, plug something in my ear and catch the radio feed so I kind of know what's going on, but just to be around Raider Nation. Now, I have thought about going just for the Vegas experience of things, tailgate, things like that. But, that's a long answer, Arkham. I want to experience it one day. Because just being honest, I have a 70-inch TV that I literally have to stand right in front of to watch plays go down. In the preseason, it's been really bad. So I've been watching it. I've been watching the game feed, and then I got the radio feed in my ear so they can let me know because they're always cutting. They're not talking about who's catching the ball, who's running the ball, who's in the game. It's annoying. So that's pretty much how I do it these days. So, I know it's a long answer to a real quick question, but I don't necessarily have plans this year. If an opportunity comes up, we'll see. I'm not against it. It's something I have to experience, I miss Oakland, man. I miss Oakland because I just know. I know my seats. I was comfortable. I knew the people around me. They knew me. They knew my situation. No one had a problem telling me, hey, that was so-and-so. It was a different vibe. So anybody has any type of information on how the stadium works when it comes to visual impairments, let me know because, it's something that I definitely want to experience at some point in my life for sure. Raider Nation, what's up? An OG reunion. That'd be fun, man. I would love it, dude. I would love to get back together with the boys and do an old school roundtable. And Mikey would have to run it. And I know Mikey's tried several times. It's like getting a hold of everybody's been tough. Yeah, I thought Plant had a chance. I mean, he's young. He's a developing guy. He played at UNLV, local guy. I definitely think he'll make our practice squad. There was a lot of good things that came out of camp about him. He's just not ready. And when you pair him up against guys like Wilson and Kuntz, they're just a little bit more physically dominant right now. But it's what's crazy about year 1 to year 2 with these players, and I think I haven't talked about this in years. Here's the thing. When it comes to these rookies, especially even the big players, even guys like Tyree. Tyree was hurt, so it was even harder for him. But everybody's getting ready to go to the Underwear Olympics, right? and to go to the combine and put on a show on how many reps they can lift or how fast they can run or, how agile they are. Their focus is on different types of training. By the time they get drafted and go through the whole, I'm going to get a contract and feeling all good and going to these rookie soporiums and doing these little mini camps, they're not ready. Some of them come in, some of them are athletically gifted enough and put in the right situation that it just bangs. But now it's some of these guys, like we're talking Adam Plant, let's talk Plant, right? He's a UNLV guy. He didn't get to do all that stuff, right? But now he's been in camp. He knows exactly what camp's going to be like next year. He has this whole season to, especially if he gets on the practice squad, he could be a part of the team. He's working out every day. He's got nutritionists and strength training coaches telling him this is what you're doing. This is what you got to do. He's still in meeting rooms. He's seen what's going on. And they just grow so much, not only mentally, but physically. They come in more physically prepared because they're training their bodies in a way that's going to prep them for training camp and to compete. And now he knows, well, dang, if I'm going to be a defensive end on the Raiders, I got Tyree Wilson, I got Chandler Jones, and I got Max Crosby, and there's this Kuntz guy. So he knows what he needs to do. So if he gets an opportunity, it's all about the work he puts in for the next 365 days to see if he has a spot on here next year. And Chandler Jones ain't getting any younger. So at some point, all these guys are going to have to continue to step up and be a part of this roster. We're going to need some more defensive ends. So, me and my long answers, I apologize. Pistol, what's going on? Pistol 123. I'm watching my language tonight, so I'll keep. I know how you used to say your name, but what's up, Pistol? Good to see you here, brother. I'm doing good. Let me see. 831 Salinas, what's up, brother? I'm very familiar with Salinas. Pistol, going to go check out the Giants in Vegas. Right on, brother, man. Enjoy yourself and have a good time. And I guess there's a lot of COVID that goes around there from what I'm hearing. But I don't know. Anybody have any comment to that? I guess casino air or flight air or something like that. All right, guys. I'm going to see if there's anything I left out. I know we talked cornerbacks. Oh, I don't think we really got into the safeties. I got to talk to safeties. The safeties were, I'm excited about what we did with the safeties because if you guys watched the 53-man projection, I didn't know about Palomalo. I wanted him to be on the roster. I felt like he could play down at the line of scrimmage. He could be in that dime nickel package if need be, you know, especially if they don't know if it's going to be a run or pass, and I think he could adjust. I think he could cover. I know he could hit and tackle well, and he's still a guy learning, but I'm glad that he's on this football team. And he's going to be on the back end of that roster. Chris Smith is still here. We still kept Teamer, so he's going to be that special teams guy, special teamer. And, you know, he's going to be, you know, he's a veteran backup that knows how we run our defense. And then we got Epps and Merrick. And these young guys can develop, you know. Merrick's got a lot to prove still. A lot of great things coming out about Merrick and his relationship with Marcus Epps and how they're going to be doing that. Like, look, this is your opportunity, Merrick, to really put your claim down on that back end. Because there's actually, if O'Connell works out, and I think I put this in, someone left me a comment, and I was talking about this in the comment section of one of the videos. We're saving a ton of money. We're saving a ton of money. So a lot of this money could be spread out, and we could lock in some of these positions that are key, safeties, defensive ends, wide receivers, all that, right? And free agency next year could be a little bit more spend happy, but, you know, this regime's not going to go out and overpay for the top guy in free agency. They're trying to build this team to where those top people in free agency are being like ignoring everybody else to say, hey, this is what I'm worth. I just need you to pay me what I'm worth. If you're willing to pay that, I'll come play for you. And then maybe some people would even used to go to the Patriots for discounts. People will go to teams for discounts if they feel like they're going into a winner or going into an organization that they can rely and trust on. And we could say whatever we want about this regime and how they've handled some of these contracts and some of these players, but this is part of the culture that they're setting up. It's a no-nonsense place to be. This is who we are. This is what we are. You're going to want to be here because we walk the walk that we talk, period. And that's what's going to get us to sustain. Now, I'm not saying that this regime has figured it all out. I mean, that's a tall order. But it starts with winning football games. And it starts this year because McDaniels got to prove himself. I think I was saying something about McDaniels earned my respect, and people are like, hey, no, respect is earned. And you're damn right, respect is earned, right? He's still got a long ways to go. But I like the way that they're handling a lot of these situations. Mike Florio, I wanted to talk about this really quick. I'm going to have to go, man. I know I got to work tomorrow. I got to get up early with the kids. But Mike Florio, you know, he's the one who made the statement that Mark Davis should come in and call the shots, right? He also is one of the ones that made the comment that the Raiders were going to just relinquish Jacobs of his contract and just let him walk, which is so asinine. And he's basing that off of things that have happened, you know, I guess DC and a few other contracts where they got nothing for him or whatever. They weren't going to let Jacobs go. It wasn't Mark Davis that said pay it in this now. They knew this whole time. They knew this whole time that Jacobs did not want to be at camp. He ran the ball 293 times last year, was the league's leading rusher. He definitely wanted his money. This wasn't a fake holdout or anything. I'm not saying that. But when the smoke started to clear, they knew what they had was Zeus. They were already making decisions on their 53-man roster. They have the budget. They worked the numbers. They offered the man the $12 million that I thought that's where the cutoff. You go listen to my videos. I said $12 million was going to be the cutoff because that's just the market right now. And then Florio starts to say that it was Mark Davis, which is just crap because he was trying to protect his. He was trying to say that they were ready to cut him, and Mark Davis came in and saved the day. Like, dude, that guy, he is the perfect example of guys that want to drop news for us to react like I am doing right now, right? Because we're so passionate, and I hate stupidity, dude. Like, don't question Raider Nation's intelligence by being an ass like that. I'm sorry, it just doesn't add up for me. For Mark Davis does not meddle. He does not. He leaves it to. He says, "I'm not the football guy. This is what he hired these guys to do, and they're doing their job." They weren't. Dolphins were already. If it was going to be like that, they could have just traded him to the Dolphins. They would have got at least a 1 first-round pick for him, easy. So I don't know. I hate stupidity. I hate that. Talk about the clickbait mentality. It's a different way to clickbait. It's called poke the Raider Nation. They'll respond. They're going to come up and fight. And that's what we do, and it's cool. And I'm doing it too. It's easy to get annoyed. I just hate those narratives, bro. Like, they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew their cap number. Josh knew that, if Josh ever, because I know players watch certain things certain times. If Josh ever hears this, it's not a knock on Josh. Josh knew that he wasn't going to get what he was asking for, or what a lot of people thinks he deserves, and he deserves whatever the top market dollar was. And this year, it's $12 million, and he'll make the $12 million. I'm cool with it. I'm sure he wants more. Next year will be more interesting. Keep an eye on that, because it's going to get a little hairy. Right on, Pistol. Yeah, we got more cap space. We got $33 million we're sitting on. Littleton money's finally running out, right? Jimmy G, we can move on from Jimmy G now. And it's not even a knock on Jimmy G, because he hasn't took a real snap for us yet. And I believe that Jimmy G, if he stays healthy, he'll do his thing. But Aiden O'Connell has showed us from the neck up, he's ready. From his physical attributes, that play that he threw to Mayer on the run, I was like, okay, this guy's fundamentals are on point. He's throwing on the run. He's slick in the pocket, sliding back and forth. It just looks so seamless, right? And I know that it's going to be this is why I'm not wanting to throw him in anytime soon, because it's a different beast out there when you're going up against teams like Buffalo and even teams like the Chargers, who got Bosa and Mack, and it's a whole different enemy, right? So I definitely think he needs some time to be in the room and be on the sideline, doing sideline adjustments, halftime adjustments, and working the clipboard is what they call it, right? He needs a little bit more time. He needs to see the game in live action. He needs to see some real situations. And then if Jimmy G kind of gets banged up or nicked up, get a spot in there to throw the ball. But unless Jimmy G ends something season ending, I think we just wait till the right time. And if that's next season and they compete, then cool. I feel sorry for Jimmy, but that's where he's at in his career regardless. He knew coming here he was going to be a bridge. And it is what it is. He was probably hoping for 2. Then Aiden comes out. I'm sorry, man. Jimmy G's sitting on the sideline. He knows. He saw that guy. He's like, yeah, okay. He already knows. Jimmy knows. Floria is a clown, bro. Yeah, Floria is a clown. All right, guys. It was a joy hanging out. I love doing these lives. Tonight it definitely worked out for me just to pop on here live. I got to get better at, again, this wasn't planned for me to go live again. I like to plan these a little bit more so it could be a little bit more professional. I'll have some drop screen in and being able to, so you guys don't see me setting up the voiceover and doing things like that. I need to do a better job at that so it looks better, but I do appreciate everybody that was here. The 53-man roster, believe it or not, it's set. We're going to go ahead and say the 53-man roster is set. However, you'd be surprised at what could happen within the next few days going into next week. They're holding on to players, hoping that they can cut them later and put them on practice squad. There might be some trade opportunities. We're still, Dave's been proven. Dave and Champ are out there looking under every rock right now. Robert, they're looking for that linebacker we're talking about, brother. You know what I mean? Like, they're out there, they're digging, they're looking, they're trying to find pieces that could help this team throughout the whole year. So keep an eye on the linebacker situation. I know Jalen Smith has been brought up. The Saints released him. And that might be a guy, they liked him before. Maybe he's a fit, maybe not. So we'll check into that. Let me get into a few more comments. Dark, you agree? Perfect. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys. Skull and Crossbones, Cali, appreciate you. Raider John, what's up, brother? Salute, my brother. Robert Pena, Pistol, Raider John, another OG's in the house. I'm telling you, it's my boy. It's my brother from another mother. Hey, Raider John, we got to put something together sometime, man, when we get on, talk some football. So my number hasn't changed. I still have you under my phone. If your number hasn't changed, I'll text it. I'll put like a Raider flag. I'll text you a Raider flag tomorrow, and if it's you, then thumbs up. Or if you still have my number, it hasn't changed, you can hit me up. We'll try to set something up. All right, guys, this is where I caught up with the chat. Thank you to everybody for being here. 53-man roster set. Denver Broncos are in our sights. A little blurry for me, a lot more clearer for you. But I will be breaking down the first 4 games of the quarter here, probably sometime this week. I mean, I got time, right? I mean, we got a whole extra weekend off, and then we head into game week. And I'd like to get that done by the weekend. So by Friday, I should hopefully have some information on that. But once again, thank you guys for being here. It's been fun. It's been real. I can't wait to kick things off. I'm going on. This will be my 3rd week straight. So I'm telling you, when I said I was back, I'm back, baby. Let's do this. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Until then, stay Raider strong. Night's gone.